Hello friends, I'm Roberto and today we're reviewing the Aranet RN Plus Home Edition, model number TDS PSRH2. Short answer, 5 out of 5 stars. I highly recommend it. I love it. I purchased mine a year ago. I loved it since day one. And a year later, I actually realized I loved it so much that I'm leaving a video review. We're going to go into what the device does, why I believe every household should have at least one device, potentially multiple, depending on the size of your household or areas you wish to monitor, and various other features and the return on investment that it can provide you, which is a great return on investment because, what's more important than your health, right? And in my case, it saved me thousands of dollars because my apartment landlord installed a several $1,000 radon mitigation system due to the data that this device collected. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Here's the device. As you can see, it is pretty small. It's like about the size of my fist. I like the device, the design. It's very elegant, modern, sleek. On the device, you have a battery port. It is powered by 2 AA batteries. Now, Aranet and SAF Technica have brilliantly designed this device, and I love how it is eco-friendly and draws very little energy. So the batteries actually last 7 years on this device. Now, part of how that's achieved, aside from its low power consumption, is the ink screen, which helps with that. Ink screens do not burn out like LED screens do over time. So this device is built to last. This is a very strong investment, in my opinion. Now, it is customizable. I kept mine the plain version because I like how it looks, but they do sell, various decals for whatever flavor or mood you might be in. However, as I stated, I just personally like the traditional design it comes in. Now, on the device, essentially, you have 2 ports in which it gathers air to take its readings, and you have one controller here. It's a button, and it also is an up and a down. So I will show you what that does. The device itself reads temperature, and you can change the unit of measurement, humidity, radon, of course. I have it set to the unit of measurement PCI/L, and it also measures barometric pressure. Now, with the scroll wheel, I currently have displayed the current reading, which is every 10 minutes. Now, my reading is great. The EPA, Environmental Protection Agency in the United States, has set the safe limit or exposure limit to 4 PCIL. So you should be below 4, they recommend. Above 4 is unsafe. And as you can see, I have very great readings. Radon is everywhere. It's a colorless, odorless, tasteless gas that causes permanent lung damage and can cause lung cancer. So very, very good investment for your health. And as you can see, right where I live, we have very, very high levels. So I have this currently on the current reading, which this measures every 10 minutes. The beautiful thing about that is you can get data very quickly like this in a snap of a finger every 10 minutes. And how it's useful is if you are buying a new house or apartment, you can actually take this very portable little device with you, and while you're getting a tour of the apartment, you can actually collect some readings, and in a few minutes, you can understand, what the radon levels are, what you're getting yourself into, if there's an issue or something that, you might want to think twice about. And so I think that's excellent because it's not just for home use. You can use this when you're going to look to purchase a house or move. So I think that's great. Also, I like to use the current reading. Now, I don't have to open windows anymore, and that is because, thankfully, to this beautiful device, it helped me collect enough data to where I was able to present this to my landlord, and they installed a mitigation system, which is why my levels are so low. But you can look at the current reading, and let's say it got high, it might trigger you to mitigate the radon if you don't have a system mechanically or manually by opening your windows. So that's very useful to have readings every 10 minutes. Now I scrolled up so we can see my 30-day average. Again, wonderful average, very healthy, safe radon levels here. This is good because based on your mitigation strategy, whether it be a engineered system such as the mitigation system I have outside, which is electronic, or opening windows, you can see based on your habits and patterns what your true exposure is over time. You can also see your 7-day average, your 24-hour average, and then back to your current reading. Now, if you hit the button, or push it in, should I say, you have a menu, very easy to use. You can go to your settings, which is where you can change your units of measurement. You can also set an alarm down there below, so if your radon levels get too high or unsafe, it will alert you. And you can pair your device here and reset it to factory default down there. So you basically scroll up and down to navigate and push the button in to select. Now, there is an app. Here is the app, and I currently just have one Aranet device. Now, I do plan on getting much more Aranet devices because I really love their devices, their company. They've been around for many years. Their customer service is excellent. They reply quickly. They're very helpful. Just overall, very, very great experience. 5 out of 5 stars. So I have this one device here, but you can pair up to 20 devices on your cell phone. Now, it gives you a quick view of the device, but if I select it, I can go into the device. And here we have this detector. You can zoom in if that's helpful to you. Now, I can look at every reading it took every 10 minutes, right? Which is great. We can look at yesterday's readings or what I had in 7 days. You can also pick a specific calendar day, and very helpful, you can export to Excel or CSV, which is great if you want to further filter or formulate to present data, whether it be for your records or maybe a legal matter or your landlord or whichever. Now, in addition to this, excuse me, we have temperature, humidity, and barometric pressure. And as you can see on the humidity, you can tell when I take a hot, steamy shower and then afterwards when I open the windows. So very accurate device. And again, super easy to use. Very user-friendly app. I absolutely love it. So with this app, what I was able to do is I was able to collect enough data. As I said, I purchased this a year ago, and here were my radon levels. Dangerous. This is over 3 times the maximum recommended health and safety limit. So 1 year ago, when I purchased this device, I realized I have a problem. So I collected data on the app that I just showed you, and I presented it to my apartment landlord. I live in an apartment, so I have a landlord. So I presented this to my landlord, and the landlord, hired a professional company with a device that cost over $1,000 to do their own testing because they wanted to verify my claims and make sure that, what I claim is actually true and correct. So they hired a company to do testing. Now, this device aligned and was consistent with the professional device. This device is accurate, which is brilliant. This is great. So the professional company did state that, yes, I do have accurate numbers. Their numbers align with mine. I do have high unsafe levels. So my apartment landlord installed a radon mitigation system on my unit. And I am the only person in the neighborhood that has a radon mitigation system. So that is why I have such lovely low levels, safe levels, without having to open windows anymore. This is what the system looks like, and it constantly pulls air from underneath my apartment so that it exhausts the radon, rather than the radon seeping in through building materials, cracks, walls, cement, flooring, etc. So truly, truly amazing. This device has helped better my health, okay, because it eliminated, with what I was able to achieve, it eliminated the radon, okay, in the sense that my landlord invested in this unit, and that investment cost several $1,000s, right? So the fact that I was able to gather data for my landlord to invest several $1,000s, those systems typically cost over $3,000, $4,000. That is a huge, huge return on investment, huge, right? Aside from health, which you really can't put a price on. I mean, that alone, being able to understand your levels, when to open a window. You know, before I had this mitigation system, I would open windows and I would get my levels down to the same thing. It just requires a little bit more work, and, you know, depending on the season, can be a little bit of a temperature inconvenience, but definitely will help you stay alert and be safe and healthy. So again, overall, there's so many uses for this device. Very user-friendly device, user-friendly app, built to last, amazing company. Personally, I love Aranet. I love SAF Technica. I love their customer service. And I want to say thank you for creating such a lovely device, because my radon levels are the best in the neighborhood now. Thank you so much, Aranet. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this video. And be safe. And remember, educated on radon. Bye-bye.